This is why we struggle in all of our relationships. We struggle with ourselves. We struggle because we have internal stuff that's not aligned correctly. That's not focused correctly. That's not spending energy correctly in terms of what we focus on and think about and dwell on and meditate on. And then our responses come out of that. And those are things that we go, why did I do that? How come I can't stop behaving that way? Why can't I control this emotion or that emotion? And so the internal work is key, and it's all in Scripture, and we're going to see that again today as we now move on to Philippians. How are we going to love Him if we're not able to give Him proper attention? Which some of you struggled with today at services even already. Staying focused and giving Him attention. And then how do we love each other without giving the proper attention? You know? One of the things that wrecks marriages, you hear these statistics, and it's scary, but they're true. When it talks about how many hours we sleep, how many hours we eat, how many hours we watch television, then how many hours or actually minutes a week we spend with our spouse in any kind of meaningful conversation. Or how many minutes or seconds we spend with our children in any but yet we might watch, 2 to 3 hours a day of television, but the average relationship doesn't even get that a week in a relationship. And we wonder why these things don't work well when we don't give them attention. I have a real good friend that I watched him do this in parenting with his child. And I didn't understand it till he explained it to me. The child came up to him and asked for something, and he said, no problem. Okay, I'll do it. 2 hours later, the kid said, Dad, I thought you were gonna. He said, oh, yeah, I'll do it. Third time, the child's like, Dad, I keep asking. He says, yeah, I'm gonna respond as quickly as you do when I ask you. You don't like it, do you? No. Maybe you want to respond quicker when I ask you to do something. Lesson learned, okay? But see, we don't think about that. We only think about us. I want it now, and I want your full attention, but what are we doing the other way? Remember, this is about loving your neighbor as yourself, how we are doing the second great commandment. You have to be giving what you want to get. We have to remember that all of us are in the middle within this structure. Every one of us has to learn submission and has to learn how to lead and serve. Leading is serving, but lead, serve. There's submitting, serve, and there's leading, serve. So you're servant in both places. Yeshua absolutely served both directions. Can we agree? All right? And so there's leadership serving, and then there's submissive serving. And all of us has to learn that. We have to learn that because that's the role we have as the bride. That's the role we have as the body. And so men, you need to, more than the ladies, seek out opportunities to make sure that you can do that. We have that one place where he says, Father, if it be your will to take this cup from me, but nevertheless, if that's what you want, that's what you want. I'm going to do it. And you notice that he also did something we struggle with, which is once he was clear that there was no changing where this was going, there was no other alternative way to do it, he moved forward with full confidence and full ready to go and never said another word about it. Because he had his answer. How many of us struggle to deal with that? In other words, you go, you get your answer, and then you don't like your answer, so you go into yak about it, talk about it, whine about it, talk to everybody else about it, gossip about it, whatever you're going to do. Don't go ask for an answer if you're not ready to take the answer. Don't just go there only ready to take it if you like the answer. But you see, we don't want to deal with the reality that we have to all come into a place where we are of one mind, one purpose. What's the purpose? To be covenanted, to keep the two great commands. That's the purpose. To live covenantally. Yes, we will obey and do everything you say, knowing that in doing so, we will be blessed, we will be safe, and we'll change from what we are into what you are and get to live eternally with you. That's the purpose. But yet, more and more people are out there leading groups trying to make it more accessible to more people by watering it down and making it more palatable to everyone. Do you see anywhere in Scripture Yeshua would do that? Any of the apostles do that? Yahweh do that in the Tanakh? Do you see an effort to make this palatable? He said that through this humbling process, he humbled himself and became obedient. See, you're not going to be obedient without the humility part. Because if there's still you in there leading, ruling on the throne of your own head, and you don't like the thought of whatever it is that he's telling you to do, or you want to do what he says not to do, you're still going to do it. Or you're not going to do what he wants because you're still not humbled. I told you Deuteronomy 8:2, which we quote all the time, starts off with the word humbling, right? He led them through the wilderness to humble them and to also see whether it was in their heart to keep the commandments or not. But he had to empty himself. That self is the problem. There is so much going on out here, okay? In the world itself, outside of your body, okay? Outside of your physical being, there is just incredible amounts of chaos, confusion, mess, there's noise of every sort, all kinds of things going on outside of you all those things are outside, generally outside your control. Can we agree? Okay. But yet, the one place you should have control, you don't, which is inside. Because you still will tell me somebody made you feel something. Somebody hurt your feelings. Somebody, insulted you or offended you. You're not controlling the inside. You haven't recognized the truth, because people say, well, I wanted the truth. I'm giving you the truth. In reality, you choose how you feel. This is if you will do this. It's not just, yes, we agree to do everything you say, but how? How are we doing it? With his mind. And his mind was one that was willing to empty himself, become a servant, and not thinking about making himself something all big deal. And that he then would be even obedient unto death, even if it was the most humiliating of situations. Then he would receive what was promised. And so that's why he gets to be the one with the reputation and the name above all names. You need to do this individual thing. It's done in a group context. But you have one job, to walk out your own salvation. And you got to walk it out. It's something you do. It's not something you think and something you know or have information about, but that you have information and you're thinking and then you're connecting emotion to it appropriately and then you're doing. Because remember, this is called love in Torah, because you do this, the motivator is love. If you love me, keep my commandments. He expected them to do what they did in Exodus, making the covenant, because they loved him and feared him appropriately.